Hello and welcome back to the stream. I hope you're all having a good day today. We are back with session 2 of the Shadowlord campaign. Now, last session, the crew got off to a good start. They got a little visits from some vampire minions, beat their asses into another dimension, and got prepared for their quest. Today, we're going to see how they handle some basic travel. And how long it takes for them to kill each other, because that always happens. But without further ado, I'm going to undeafen and say hello to everybody. We're live,
8-9
fellas.
hours a day.
Hey, yo.
Nice.
What's up, bitches?
Hey, everybody.
Let's slice and
Right.
dice some people.
Go for
Okay.
initiative, assholes.
Roll for initiative. Yep. You gotta do it now. Where is it? Here it is.
You're not about to roll for initiative.
Don't forget, Chris, we've got the sticker.
Oh, that is a sticker? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Big one. Right, so,
Cool.
where we last left off, you guys were just leaving Port Damali. Your wagon driver, Kevin, of course we got named Kevin, is going to be taking you on the trip to Nicodranis along the Gilded Roadway.
18
Unbeknownst to you guys, that trip is about 250 miles. So it's going to take a little while.
Fun.
So,
Wait, so is that Kevin of the four-wheeler caravan?
yeah, it is the four-wheeler driver.
It's
The four-wheeler driver.
an 18
Also,
Can I
I'm-
leave a review on AOP?
Nope.
Also, hello Price, hello Mel, welcome into the stream. Make sure to hit that like button, it helps a lot.
I know, I'm Price.
Right, now,
Alright.
for travel, I've got a little fun thing we do to keep things a little spicy. We are going to have a random player roll a dice. And depending on the roll of the dice, that's what's going to happen for your day of travel. So,
Straight D20.
D10.
D10. Okay.
Let me go ahead and see who's choosing first. Let
Remember how
me
to do
see.
Oh, here it is.
I think I need. Hang on, I'm going to pick who's going first.
Oh, okay.
So, roll a d4. Number 2, that is Ryan. Ryan, roll a d10 for me, good sir.
Okay.
Just a plain old d10.
That is an 8.
An 8.
Okay.
Alright, so, as travel gets underway, the first thing you all notice is one of your crew members seems a little off. Mad McTavish is already passed out drunk at the back of the caravan.
That's my job. That's my job.
Like,
I think
he
he got
is-
to your ale and chugged the rest of
He
it.
is completely catatonic, gone. He's alive, but he is completely passed out and will be of no use to you for the next day or so.
Slap him. Try to slap him awake.
I'll have to lug his ass over to the next town.
No, you're in the wagon, it's fine. You just sort of leave him there, he's fine.
I'm not carrying him.
we leave him with Kevin the whole time until he wakes up.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you're leaving town, you've left town and you're on the Gilded Roadway. I'm going to quickly drop a link. Actually, I'll share my screen to you guys. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Just so you can kind of see the map that I'm working with here.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I've got it really cropped in, but I can bring it down a bit now. So that's the map I'm working with. You guys are here. So you've just left Port Damali, and this little dotted line is the road you're following. So you're coming up to the river crossing of the Teoden River, and there's some people scattered around. It's a very nice place. It's a very common rest spot for travelers leaving and coming out of Port Damali. At this point, you're about 20 miles out of town. You've been traveling for most of your day. And there is a village just on the other side of the bridge, which is where Kevin has decided you're going to be spending the night pass over. So you decide it'd be nice to sort of pull up and spend a bit of time at the river. And as you pull up, a traveller approaches you with a really friendly grin, and he's like, "Well, hello, travellers. How are you all today?" How do you respond?
Could be better.
Calibrand is uninterested in this conversation.
I transfer my
He
face
just
into
turns
the
away
traveler.
from the adventurer.
The traveller kind of looks at you stunned and goes, "Oh, a changeling. Very rare. Haven't seen one of your kind in a while. Where are you off to today then, travellers?"
Okay.
Well, we're trying to take down these vampire thieves. They got a bounty on our heads.
Don't tell him that! He could be a vampire!
Where does...
He doesn't look too much of a. He doesn't look like much of a threat. I trust him.
Well,
One
I
second.
don't
Fucking
trust
headset's down.
anyone.
I pull out a dagger to his neck.
Calibrand turns around with a wooden stake.
You can trust me, fellas. I am not a vampire. I am just merely a traveller, telling a story.
I don't...
Prove it. I've been standing out in sunlight. How is that enough proof for you, good sir?
Then tell us your most interesting story.
Oh. Well now. Have you heard tell of the missing travellers from Nicodranus?
What we're going to
No.
investigate, dumbass.
Go on.
I highly doubt you're investigating this, as this happened before the vampire scourge set in. About a year ago now, there was word of a kidnapping up by the old lighthouse. Some street urchin kid got nagged by this rogue tabaxi. The guards didn't really do much, though. It was strange. It was almost as if they weren't... I don't know. It's almost as if they were paid off or something. No one really knows why they never did anything. But out of nowhere, these four adventurers, they'd never met each other before this day, but they came together. And the last they were seen was leaving the group, leaving Nicodranus together, in search of this missing street urchin kid. It's been a year, and no one's heard from them since.
Were there any clues left behind, Retail?
Not really. I mean, one of the members lived and worked in Nicodranus. He had a store and everything. The place has been half abandoned for the last good part of a year.
Well, it looks like whatever's left of those travelers, we might see them on our journey.
Who knows? You very might well.
Maybe they were 10.
Anyways, I appreciate you stopping to speak with an old traveller like myself. And I wish you all a fine day.
Don't you dare
You
read
too,
over
sir.
what you heard from us.
How far is
Well, I'll shoot you down.
Nicodranus from our current location right now?
Oh, my
Yes.
boy. You're probably a good week's travel away from Nicodranus right now.
Okay. Is there
Weak, huh?
anyone we could mention your name to, possibly? Be like, hey, this person recommended or told us about this place.
I am but a simple traveller. I don't have that kind of sway or political standing.
Right.
Fair enough.
Hope you have safe travels.
And yourself.
Don't breathe a word or I will kill you.
Don't you
Have
worry,
some
my
more of
son.
your ale.
And with that, the old traveller smiles and walks away to his cart on the other side of the bridge.
No,
You all travel for a little more. You make it to the other side of the bridge. You travel maybe, I don't know, another 10, 15 miles up the road. Night's starting to set in, and you make it to the village that Kevin had marked out. And you basically set up, you rent a room in the inn, and it's like a tiny little village. There's like a couple houses, small inn, Mostly getting trade from travelers coming to and fro, but there's nothing much else there. Would you guys just like to rest and move on, or do you want to explore the village?
I'll explore.
I'm gonna get
Is there
an
anybody
apartment.
interesting downstairs at the inn?
Not really. There's the there's the owner, and there's the barkeep, and another traveler who had been traveling the opposite direction, who was there when you arrived. But other than that, nothing much.
Any shops we could go to?
Not really. As I said, this is a very small place. They basically sustain themselves off local farms. The farmers just supply food to the locals as needed, and also through the inn. And that's all there is really. There isn't really much else here other than a couple houses. It's basically just a farm settlement.
Alright. I'm gonna get some
Good.
shut-eye then.
I'll go downstairs.
Yeah, I might as well. But before we do, I want to ask Calibrand something.
What's up?
Why is it that you didn't want to bother with the traveler that told us about that tale about the town we're headed to next?
I mean, like, are we gonna stop and talk to every weird person on the side of the road while we're being, like, our heads are being hunted?
I mean, that's understandable, but what if it was vital information?
We shouldn't
Then
have
y'all are more than
them.
welcome to talk to him. Doesn't mean I have to interject every time.
We shouldn't.
Fair enough.
We shouldn't be interacting with anyone outside of our circle. We're wanted by the vampires. They're dangerous creatures. Any one of them can go back to the vampires and tell them where we are.
True. True. Plus, it was just some old guy. Like, who wants to sit there and talk to them?
Anyways,
I'm
So-
just downstairs.
so yeah, Chris. Anyways, so Chris,
I
you're
just walked past all of you.
so Whisper's just walked out of the room and he's gone downstairs to the main body of the inn as a doll hall. You kind of come down the stairs, and it is a small place. Like upstairs, there's like a long hard corridor that basically spans the length of the upstairs level, and there's like 4 rooms, 2 at the one end, 2 at the other end, and the staircase at one end of the hallway. Downstairs, you've got like a small sort of seating area with a few tables, around with a big fireplace in the corner. There's a small but fairly well enough stocked bar for the location. You know, they've got a few casks, they've got a few stuff like that you buy in the bar. As it stands, the one other traveller is sat at the bar, making his idle conversation with the barman, and the owner of the inn is sat in an armchair by the fireplace reading a book.
I will slowly approach the owner by the fireplace. I'm in my dark elf transformation state, and with my hood over my face a little bit, and I sit next to the guy. He's
The
like,
guy kind of looks up and gives you a sort of gentle nods, and then just settles back in, reads his book. He's back reading his book.
"What you reading there?"
Just some random storybook that one of the travelers left us. We've got stuff like this, loads of stuff like this.
What kind of story did they leave?
Some sort of adventure story. These sailors out looking for treasure, pirate kind of stuff. It's tolerable enough.
Mind if I trouble you for a drink?
Go ahead. Barman's at the bar.
Alright, I will go to the barman. Like, give me your strongest ale. It's been a hell of a day.
We only serve PB Light here.
We only serve Miller Lite here, son.
The Mazda's arrived because of that.
Give me your strongest vodka.
What is this vodka that you speak of?
It's an old-fashioned drink from my home country. What do you got here?
Just the local stuff. Ciders, ales, One of the
Big
travel
cider.
One of the travelers dropped off a cask of draft beer, which is quite nice.
Do you have a taste of it? See how it is?
I always taste everything that comes in. If you want my personal opinion, the cider is the best bet.
Alright, pour me some cider, good man.
All right, that'll be 1 silver, my good son.
Alright, I put down a silver on the bar.
Well, I don't think you've technically got any silver. You've got, well, basically,
I was gonna say we
you've
don't
only
have
got
silver yet,
you've
but
only
yeah.
got gold. Take 1 gold off your character, and now let me just really quickly double check the conversion. I think
Okay.
1 gold is 10 silver, if I remember correctly. Inventory, money. Yeah, 1 gold is 10 silver, so basically drop 1 gold, add 9 silver.
Drop 1 gold. Add 9 silver.
So the barman glances down, takes your gold piece, sort of gives it a quick check, and then drops it in a tray behind the counter and fishes out 9 silver pieces and puts them on the counter in front of you. Not often we get people paid with this kind of stuff. Where are you from, son? He starts pouring your cider.
I come from a little place you may know as Shady Creek Run.
Oh, well now, I've only heard of that place in stories.
Yeah, it's a living hellhole, but, you know, I'm
So I've heard.
wandering the land, making my own,
Well,
save a few people on the way.
good on you for getting out of there, son.
Thank
You
you.
enjoy this.
Now tell me something. I look around the bar, see if no one's listening. I lean a little to the barkeep, whispering like, "Have you had any, weird people come in lately, or anything of the fanged sort kind of people?" Wink, wink. You know what I mean?
Talking about those blood-sucking menaces, aren't you?
Exactly.
Well, let's just say we've got a warrior in town. Local guy. Used to be a member of a fighting legion or something. Anyways, he's retired nowadays, but he's got enough of a fighting presence that the bloodsuckers steer clear.
Oh, what's this guy's name?
Shit.
His name is shit.
His name is shit.
I did not think this far ahead.
That's all I
It's Jadaji, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's not Jadaji. I'm thinking this off as I go along, good sir. I had none of this
No,
planned.
how about this? When he's about to say his name, I come up behind Wisp and I say, I thought we were keeping our mission on the down low.
Hey, I never
Kyle.
said what mission. I just said I'm hunting vampires.
Which is
Whatever. Sorry to bother you, sir. Wisp,
Not at all.
let's go.
No.
The barman watches. Actually,
Wisp,
tell you what.
we asked enough.
Tell you what. He didn't give me a strength check, and Wisp, you give me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics, okay. I have +5. So
No, he didn't give me the strength. Chris gives me acrobatics.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna be.
Alright,
Yeah,
athletics.
acrobatics
even.
would have been so good.
Oh,
And
athletics?
for fuck's sake.
Actually, oh,
Wait, what?
no. Actually, you know what? No, fuck it, that works. So, Aiden just sort of goes, Grim Fan kind of goes, Wisp, come on, let's go. And grabs Wisp by the arm and tries to pull him away. And Wisp kind of just, pirouettes. But it's a very drunken pirouette, but it somehow manages to get out of Grimfang's hands. And the pair of them are just standing in the middle of the... The pair of them are now just standing in the middle of the inn, face to face, while the barman, the owner, and the random traveler are sitting there just kind of watching them.
You wanna fight? Come on. I do my
Let's
unarmed.
just give the man the drink that you were gonna give him, and let's go.
I punch him in the chest.
No, we're not fighting each other.
Oh, fine. Why
Please.
not?
Wait, 1 minute. Can I have a quick look?
Because Grimfang would take you and snap you over his knee. Now let's get on with this.
Alright,
Okay,
Go on.
fine. I go upstairs. I go.
Yes.
Go on. When Wisp is about to punch him in the chest, I cast shield in between them.
Ah, my head!
So everyone just hears a
Yeah.
solid thunk. I mean, that's technically not how the spell works, but fuck it, it's working that way for now.
Just
Dunk. And somehow, in his divine wisdom, in his divine drunken wisdom, Dumas has been able to craft the shield spell into a form that summons a magical shield in front of Grimfang. And you all just hear the clang as with just like slugs this steel shield.
I only have freaking gloves on that fucking art, you bastard!
Actually, yes, it did. Wisp takes 2 points of impact damage.
Damn it. Alright. I'm
that's
taking this to
amazing.
bed with me then. I just
So
walk upstairs.
Dumas and Grimfang just watch as Wisp kind of staggers up the stairs with this cider. And as he kind of gets to the top step, you kind of hear him hiccup and disappear. Just as the barman goes, told him it was the strong stuff.
Fall down the stairs.
You fall down the stairs.
Yes.
No, stop hurting yourself.
Thanks for that, Dumas.
Tell you what, roll an athletics check.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics.
Athletics? Okay.
Okay, yeah,
that's
you
right,
absolutely fall down the stairs. So you kind of see him get to the top step, and he kind of sort of sways there, and then just falls backwards.
Hey guys, you want to see me fly? Woo!
Nah, we saw you fall.
And just another solid thunk, as Wisp takes another 3 points of falling damage.
I just pass out.
Oh,
Alex
Christ.
is gonna be laughing when he sees this stuff, when he hears about this stuff.
Right, so what do you guys do now? Wisp is passed out at the bottom of the stairs. Grimfang, are you carrying him up the stairs again?
Well, here's the thing: are we carrying McTavish around everywhere?
No, he's still passed out in the wagon outside. You've just left him in the wagon. Like even Kevin, the wagon driver's got his own room in the inn, but McTavish has crashed out in the wagon. Still, he's just still out of it.
It just starts raining. He gets soaked and wakes up in the morning.
He's gonna be dead by morning.
So do you haul
well-
Wisp up to the room?
Sure.
All
Dumas
right.
and we'll bring Wisp back up where Caliban probably is.
I'm not doing it.
I'm saying we're
Alright.
going up. I know you can't hold them. You're a goblin, and you're drunk as well, probably.
And he's a wizard.
Always. Always.
Was it? He would just do a levitation spell.
I don't have a levitation.
Anyway,
He
so
would guide your Leviosa Wisp up the stairs.
I'm not like I'm wizard, okay?
anyway, so for Wisp's sake, you all get a long rest,
Woo!
so Wisp can go heal all the damage you took.
Yeah.
And you get a really early start the following morning because you've got a lot of traveling ahead of you. You come out to the wagon. Kevin's already sat at the front, tending to the horse on top of the wagon. Horses are all tacked up, and you all get a better look at McTavish. You'd all kind of just assumed that he was drunk because that's kind of it's McTavish. He's probably drunk. But
Are you mixing McTavish and my character?
you both get
Pour
drunk.
water on him.
You both, but you get
Everybody
closer.
in this party likes to have a few drinks.
I'm
Yeah,
DMing for a
alright,
party of
alright,
alcoholics. Tell me, prove me wrong. Anyway, but you get a better look at him, and you kind of realize he's not drunk. He's in a sort of comatose state.
dump
Like-
a bucket of water on him.
He's completely non-responsive to any form of physical stimulation. Like, you can chuck buckets of water on him all you want, he's not going to wake up.
Yeah, we probably
He ain't
should
waking up.
waterboard him.
In fact, actually, go ahead and... So, you're going to throw a bucket of water on him?
Yeah.
No, I said we shouldn't.
Well-
Fair
I was
enough.
saying that in
So-
contrast to Wisp saying, let's dump some water on him.
So let's say Wisp throws some water over him. The water should have soaked him, but it hits a sort of really, really tight barrier around him, and he's completely dry.
Hey, who cast a spell on this guy? I'm pretty sure I just dumped a bucket on him.
Wait, isn't he some kind of wizard
I'd like to cast
I mean,
or
I'm not
sorcerer or something
Kevin kind of leans over and goes, "Yeah, he's a warlock. I'm almost certain that he's probably communicating with his patron right now.
Oh?
Never seen it go on this long. They must have gotten some sort of heated argument or something."
Alright, well...
That's
Where's the next
interesting.
destination? Let's let them have their conversation for
Alright.
however long.
Perfect. So y'all get in the wagon, and you're going to start your next path. You're kind of heading into a forested area, and there's some sort of low hills in the distance. Let's see. Chris, give me the D10 roll.
D10? Okay.
Yeah, D10 roll.
Three.
Okay, let's see what number 3 is. Alright, so you travel along, and you're probably about an hour or two into the travel. You've probably made about 10, 12 miles distance. The place where you were staying the night before is long gone. It's long past. In the distance, about half a mile up the road, maybe not even that, you see a figure standing at the side of the road, kind of walking in the same direction you are. As you get closer, you see that he hears you and looks around and sort of gives you a wave. Do you stop the wagon to talk to him, or do you keep going?
No, we've done that once. It could have ended badly. We're moving right along.
What kind of wave is it?
Like a friendly wave. He's kind of trying to get your attention, like sort of like a help, sort of like I need your help kind of thing.
Fine.
Yeah,
No.
but stop.
Sure.
Again.
So you're stopping the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you stop the wagon, and the
You
guy
know, just drink your life away while we talk to this guy.
the guy kind of walks up to the side of the wagon, and goes, "Oh, thank God! I never thought I'd see anyone today. The party I was traveling with, they fucked off without me. They fucking left me behind. I know this is a big ask, but would you guys be able to transport me to the nearest village, heading the same distance? I'll pay you for it."
How much money you got?
I don't think we should, guys. I don't think we should.
The guy kind of like pats his pockets and kind of scrounges up all the gold he's got and kind of looks at you and sort of goes, 2 gold each. That's probably about as much as I've got on me.
Nope.
Fair
move
enough,
along.
but you're gonna be, since we just met, you're gonna be tied up just for safety precautions.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, I don't kink shame, go for it.
I was gonna make that joke.
Hey,
All
listen,
right.
it's not me who you gotta worry about. It's my friend with the horns over there. He's really into rope play.
Wait, what?
Kinky.
Who's got the horns?
Oh, Tavish, wait.
McTavish.
I just looked at the profiles. Tavish is the one with horns.
Right.
just-
So,
I tie him up.
how do you tie up this poor defenseless defenseless traveler?
Did you take my rope?
Maybe.
Get your own rope if you even have any.
I do have my own rope. It's your rope.
Oh wait, no, I know how we can do it. We'll tie
Can I do an
up.
insight check on this guy?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say an inside check.
Actually, tell you what, give me a... what check would it be?
Perception?
Yeah, give me a perception check. to tell if he's trying to lie to you or if he's telling the truth.
17. Oh wait, no, that's a
You lying son of a bitch.
Nine.
That's a 9, you.
no, dude. Like, I rolled it, and at the bottom of my corner, it like the 5 was on the side and the 13 was on top, and then I had a notification. So I clicked on the notification. I was like, shit, that's a 9. I just lied.
Twat.
Yeah, I got a 9.
Yeah, as far as you're aware, he's telling the truth. Does anyone else want to do insight checks?
I'll do one.
Or perception checks even?
I'll do a perception.
I'll do
one,
perception.
Sure, go for it.
+3. All right.
10.
20, 10.
Oh, I got a 20.
So yeah, Grimfang and Dumas, you guys are almost certain that this guy's just completely telling the truth. He's just a lost traveler who got left behind and just needs transport to the next village.
So what's this guy's name?
Chuck.
All right,
Chuck?
Chuck. What kind of a dumbass gets left behind by his party?
Did
The
you
kind-
fail?
The kind that was so
Marcel.
catatonically drunk he didn't wake up and they thought it was dead.
Thump him on
I
the
turned
head.
to Dumas and the rest of the party and like, see, this is what behaviors can cause.
I knock him unconscious with the
Especially with you.
end of my
Dumas.
dagger.
Why do you
just
want
tie
to knock
up.
him unconscious? You know he's not a threat.
We've already tied
Hey,
him up.
hey,
Let's just
hey,
leave him.
we already
let's
tied
just
him
leave
up.
him.
Let's maybe
Fine.
put a ball gag on him and then call it a day.
For God's
Perfect.
sakes, this
Well,
was
you're
not the
ball
way I was expecting this episode to go. Right, so
I guess Calibrand and Wisp had different plans.
Chuck the Traveler's turned into Chuck the Gimp. Got it. Right, so anyway, you kind of haul him up into the wagon. He's kind of sat across from, probably across from Calibrand, next to Grimfang, I'd assume. McTavish is
funny
passed out at the front of the
business.
wagon. Other than that, yeah.
I just
Kevin-
stared at him the whole time, just tossing my dagger in hand, just intimidating.
Kevin gets the wagon going, and you're just traveling along. And Chuck kind of looks around and goes, "This is much better than walking the entire way."
You've got a ball again. What are you on about?
You didn't
No
put the
funny
ball guy
business.
again. You've just tied him up. There's a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
we
no
voted
ball
against
game.
that. Yeah. By the way,
Improv.
did we ever do the 50 the 50 bottles of holy water at all?
You,
Wait,
you've,
what?
12
you've
bottles?
got
Nah.
you've got the 12
We've
bottles.
got a
Yeah, they're in
way
the back
to
of the wagon.
Okay, they
The
are.
power of Christ compels you. Let's sprinkle some on.
Nah. Let's not
No,
waste the
no,
supplies.
Wisp.
Do not
We need
waste the
that.
holy water on Chuck the Gimp.
We need that for emergencies.
I
Anyway.
look at him. I'm like, you got $50? You got 50 gold to spend on another bottle of holy water?
Yes.
Wait, no, I have an idea. Can we just like belittle this fucker for getting left behind the entire way there?
Sorry, what?
What?
Can we,
Yeah, what?
Can we just belittle this guy for getting left behind?
I'll
the
belittle
entire
him.
way there? Like the entire way there.
What? So you're gonna spend the entire trip just gaslighting the fucking, just abusing the fuck out of this poor traveler because he was so drunk that he couldn't wake up to go with the rest of his party and he assumed he died in his sleep.
Even though that's the thing that Dumas would also do.
That's yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just
that-
taking a nap.
That's why I'm bullying him, just because it's something.
So what do you
Just
what do you
light
say?
shaming.
So what do you say to him?
You dumb ass motherfucker. I'm the most alcoholic motherfucker on this planet, and yet I still don't get left behind because I sleep in too late.
Chuck kind of looks at you.
Because you're the only other person we have.
Chuck kind of looks at you and just kind of goes, "Well, clearly you're not enough of an alcoholic if you've not passed out this badly, then."
Oh,
No, I just know how to handle my alcohol.
Yeah. Some say that. Some say they're such a heavyweight that they don't even get drunk.
Wait, no, can I pull out my infinite flask and just say, I take a swig of this every other 5 minutes.
You realize it's not an infinite jug, right?
How
It
much-
just refills once every 24 hours.
Oh. Well, I take a gulp of this once every 5 minutes, and I have enough to last me an entire day, and I don't ever pass out that fast. You're just a freaking lightweight, aren't you, Ben?
Chuck kind of looks at your flask and says, let me have a look at that stuff.
Your hands are tied.
Yeah, let me taste it. Let me smell it.
I mean, we've already got the guy tied up. Come on, Dumas, give him at least a little taste.
You can have a sniff, but nobody's touching the alcohol.
I wake up from my nap and just
Okay,
swiftly
Pirate
get-
Dumas.
I just swiftly yank it out of his goblin hands and give him a little taste of it.
No, my alcohol, fuck you.
So Chuck kind of takes a sip of it and sort of swirls around his mouth and just sort of sits there for a second and starts laughing hysterically. This is the weakest fucking alcohol I've ever fucking drank, you fucking lightweight.
I knock him unconscious with the bolt end of my dagger.
Oi!
Wow, knocking people unconscious.
Oh, he's
Well-
being an asshole.
I mean, if we're being fair here, Dumas started it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knocked Dumas unconscious.
Stop knocking your teammates unconscious.
We're gonna
Oi!
leave your
really
ass
need to
behind if
quit
you keep
fighting
knocking
each
people
other.
out, Wisp.
Anyway.
Not arguing anymore, is
What,
there?
didn't you like fall down some stairs last night because you couldn't handle your own alcohol? And
be
you
fair,
had the
that-
proclivity to sit here and talk smack to anybody on this damn cart.
Only me and Calibre can talk smack about the three of you.
Morph my face
Never
into
since
Calibrans and
freaking
just
Thomas
mock
does.
him. He's like, oh, look at me, I'm Calibrand. Blah, 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 blah. Go
Very
back to my
funny.
nap.
The rest of this traveling this day of traveling just goes on similar to this. Just Dumas and Chuck kind of one-upping each other with the belittlement. Wisp getting more and more cranky, and Grimfang and Caliban just getting closer and closer to the edge of snapping.
Yeah.
Until, as the sun is getting low in the sky, they pull into the second village. And once again, it's kind of similar to the first one, except now there's less of a farming feel, because you're kind of, if you can see the map, right, yeah?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
last time you kind of stopped here near the edge of the forest, like all this was like farmland. Now you're over here at the foothills of this sort of range, and it's more of a logging community, sort of like a woodfellers community. So it's a lot of lumberjacks and sort of like wood processing plants and stuff. So it is actually a lot busier. So when you go into the end, it is a much larger building, and there's more of a community going on because it's obviously like the hub for all the workers. It's where they go for their meals and their drinks and stuff. So there's a pretty big crowd in there when you get there. So as the wagon pulls up outside the inn, Chuck kind of looks up at you expectantly, sort of raising his bound wrists up in front of him and says, would you mind?
I'll
Take
cut him
back my
loose.
rope.
Yeah. Or not cut him loose, but gently untie him.
Alright, so you undo Chuck's binds, and he kind of looks at his wrists and goes, well, it's not how I expected this traveling to go, but honestly, still better than walking.
Could have been worse.
And he passes you each 2 gold coins.
Sweet.
Nice.
So each of you get 2 gold out of that for abusing the fuck out of a poor defenseless traveler.
Hey, whatever
Alright.
works.
So,
Hey, it was only light shaming. Soft kink.
And
We didn't even do anything.
And even though he wasn't there, I'm going to McTavish gets one as well, so I'm going to go in and give him his as well. So
Yeah,
add
sure.
2
10
gold.
makes sense for the guy to have.
So yeah, as per usual, you all go into the tavern. Obviously, it's a lot busier than the first one, but you manage to get a room for the 4 of you. Once again, McTavish has been left in the back of the wagon. He is one with the luggage at the
Just
moment.
being left it there.
He's basically a piece of the luggage right now.
True. Thankfully, I don't
One
have to
with the
look him
goods.
around everywhere.
So
Put a sign around his neck. Do not touch.
Do not steal.
valuable cargo, leave alone.
Basically.
So
Baby on board. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so you've arrived. You're in the second inn. Do you guys want to just take your long rest and continue traveling, or do any of you want to go and?
I'm just gonna go take my long rest. I ain't communicating with anybody.
Right, so Dumas has gone up to your room and it's just passed the fuck out.
Alright, whatever. Chug down your ale again.
Is there any
Yeah,
like?
let's actually have a drink.
Yeah.
You
Is
guys
there
can have a
any-
drink. Are there any shops?
At this time of the night, all the shops are kind of shut because it's obviously coming in for nightfall, so there's nothing at the moment.
Mm.
But there is a sort of general sort of like traveler's store where you can buy like general goods and supplies and stuff. So you can probably go there in the morning. As for now, which one of you is going for drinks?
Calibrand.
Wisp and Calibrand. So
I mean, if there's nothing else to do, then I'll go get a drink as well.
the three of you are going for drinks. I'll leave the alcoholic alone in the room. Love it. So the three of you kind of walk into the bar, and it's not packed. It's fairly busy though. There's, if you it looks like a sort of like typical sort of like country bar. There's a big fireplace against the back wall. There's like 4 or 5 chairs kind of clustered around it, and a big long sort of like bench along one wall. And pretty much all of those seats around the fire are taken up by older lumberjack workers and stuff. They're all just sitting there, mulling over the drinks, discussing their days. There's a couple of the younger crowd chilling at the bar, but there's plenty of space for you guys to get up and pull up a few chairs together at the bar side. And the barman gives you a look and says, "So what'll it be, fellas?"
What you got?
"Well, with a local specialty, Woodsman's Ale. It's what all of the lumbermen drink. Got a cask of cider that one of the travellers left in with us, and a few spirits that I brew myself."
Give me a little bit of that local ale.
Small pint for you, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Half pint, do
Now.
you? All right.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So he pours you half pint and sort of passes it over. He says, "First drinks from the house, boys.
All right.
Let me get one of those.
It's a benefit of your book in the room. You each get a drink on the house. You want one of these as well, sir?"
Yeah, why not?
So he pours another drink for Wisp, passes to him, and turns to Grimfang and says, "What'll it be for you, big feller?"
I'll have that drink that you said a traveler left for us.
"All right then." He pours you a reasonably larger flagon of the cider and pops it down in front of you and says, "There you go, fella. That should keep you going for a while."
I would
Let me
like
cheers. To
Cheers.
Shadowlord.
Cheers.
I'd like to listen in on the conversation, the people next to us, like the younger crowd.
Give me a perception check.
Perception. Where are you? There you are. 10.
I'm also gonna be doing that as well, just kind of getting a feel for the bar.
Right, so as far as you're aware, Wisp, they're basically just talking about how their day went, just how they found a really good group of older trees that they managed to take down.
Okay.
But there's also discussion of how they're, taking care of the forest, planting new trees, making sure that they replant what they cut down, that kind of stuff.
Alright.
Calibrand, are you doing a perception check as well?
Yes. 13.
You hear more or less the same. But you kind of glance over, and you see that one of the woodfellers has a tattoo on his wrist of a small green leaf.
Hmm.
And but yeah, other than that, nothing else.
Hmm.
That's information that
Do we
is
wanna
only
investigate
relevant.
That individual.
That is information that is only relevant to Calibrand, but sure. Well, actually, no, it's more relevant to Dark, but you know, fuck it. I figured he'd like that. But yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary. It's just, you know, three fellers talking about their work.
Is there anybody else in the bar? You know, kind of like.
I mean, you've got the older. Tell you what, give me a. Since you're looking specifically for people, I'm gonna make this an investigation check.
I think the investigation sounds like a better idea. I shouldn't do mine because I'm a -1.
Oh my god,
You're fine.
11. Come on.
Dark, are you doing an investigation check as well? You are. Interesting. 5. You know what, Grimfang, you may as well do it as well, because you've probably got a better chance of doing better than they do.
Almost.
You did. You did better than both of them. But yeah, the three of you kind of sort of glance.
One.
The three of you kind of glance around, and other than like the barman, the young crowd at the other end of the bar, and the older crowd sat around the fireplace, there's no one really else around. That's all there really is.
Well, I'm gonna hit the hay. See y'all tomorrow. And I walk upstairs.
And falls again.
No.
No, it's just a half pint.
Yeah, he just had a half pint, he's fine. So, do Calibrand and Grimfang go up to the beds as well, or do pair of you going to stay a bit longer?
I'll hang out for another beer. I'll order another beer from the barkeep and ask if Grimpang wants another one.
Yeah, well, I'll finish off mine and then ask Calibrand, what should we do about this? Should we do anything about the steak that we should make again for the vampires?
So,
we should.
First of all, Calibrand, you order your second pint. That's 1 silver.
All right.
So take them in with
Yes,
gold, add 9 silver.
All right.
And then as you're kind of discussing making steaks and stuff, the barman kind of sort of half overhears and says, "Well, not sure what you're looking for, but if you're looking for wooden poles and stuff, you can buy stuff like that at the general store."
Thanks for the information, bartender.
They do wooden dowels and stuff that people use to repair the fences around here. You might make use of that.
I slide the man a silver piece and thank him for the information.
The man kind of looks out at the silver piece, picks it up, kind of flips it between his fingers, and then it just sort of disappears. Thank you very much, son.
What the hell did you just do with that piece of silver?
Just
Would
sleight
you
of
like
hand.
to know? As he reaches forward and pulls the piece of silver out of your ear.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're a
All
magician, huh? Is that it?
Nah, I just learned a few tricks from some passing rogues and the sort of drifter types. Sometimes they don't like to pay, so they prefer to make their way with teaching me stuff. And half the time I'm alright with that.
Fair enough. Thank you for the drink. Now I bet to be
No
off.
worries. Alright, so Aiden
I'll
heads...
go upstairs as well.
Alright, well, you don't really need a long rest, because I don't think any of you have done anything to use up spell slots or anything. But if you have,
Nah,
run a long rest anyway.
I'll just do it just in case.
So, you
Alright.
wake up the next morning, and obviously, Kevin's already got the wagon just about ready to go, getting the horses tacked
I
up.
was just still unconscious.
Yep, McTavish is still dead to the world in the back of the wagon. You kind of hear some hustle. The place is actually fairly busy, you know. The woodfellows walking around, a lot of them with, like, obvious, like, massive, like, wood axes in their hands. getting their own wagon sorted out, and they're all kind of getting ready to head sort of north into the woods. That sort of hug the river that you're near. And there's a few of them are going south to the ones that sort of hugs the coast. We also notice just up the street is what appears to be the sort of general store of the town. And I know the Grimfang was wanting to go to the store, but does anyone else want to go to the store?
I'll go as well.
Yeah, why not?
I don't really need anything.
So you're going to stay with the wagon, Dumas?
Yeah.
Alright, so Dumas kind of climbs into the back of the wagon next to McTavish, and hold on, I need to do something. Yeah, no worries, Aiden. We'll see what Calibrand and Wisp want to do first. And you get Dumas kind of settles into the back of the wagon next to McTavish and slowly starts just quietly chatting away with Kevin as the rest of you walk over to the general store. Kind of open up, and there's a couple of massive wood axes sort of propped up outside the store, and sort of on the front window it says "No axes" in big words in the front door. You guys are fine though. It's just like the big wood axes.
Alright.
So you kind of open the door, and there's it's a very like old, sort of like old westerny kind of style, like what you'd expect from like an old western sort of like convenience store, like a sort of frontier town.
Mm-hmm.
It is very much like that. Sort of like shelves lining the walls either side of you, and a row of shelves sort of in the middle of the building, and then sort of the back of the shop, there's shopkeep, sort of discussing stuff with one of the locals, while another local is sort of perusing shelves over to the right. You kind of notice in front of the shopkeeper, on top of the counter, there's a massive book. Like it's a proper big sort of... It kind of looks like a big sort of heavy bound book. Like leather bound, nice construction. From where you are, you can tell it's a really nice book. What do you do?
I want to look inside the book.
So as you walk up, you notice that the shopkeep has the book open between himself and the local customer.
I'm back.
Welcome back. And it's basically a catalogue of everything that the shopkeeper has in the store. So instead of perusing the store, if you don't know where something is, you can just go up and check the book.
Ah.
Is there any weapons or anything like that? I asked the shopkeep.
No. Sorry, man, we don't really do weapons. We're more, supplies, provisions, that kind of stuff. Make food for the woodfellers heading up into the forest for the day, that kind of stuff.
I asked to look at the catalog and see if they have any like holes, like 5 to 6 feet.
So you kind of look at the book, and you're sort of rifling through, and you find sort of a page that sort of says home supplies, and one of the things you see are basically wooden fence posts. They're probably about 2-inch wide cylindrical poles, which are about 4 feet long.
Okay.
Is that what you're kind of looking for?
Yeah. I asked the shopkeep for about 3 of them.
The shopkeep kind of looks down and says, 3. Yeah, I can do that. That'll be... Let me think. He kind of looks at the book, and it says... The book doesn't show prices for things.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows the item. So the shopkeep kind of looks at it, goes into the back of the shop, and kind of looks around. Like, there's a room behind him. He kind of goes back there, has a wee look around, and comes out with 3 of the poles. And he sort of offers one to you. Does it sit here? Have a look at it. What do you think? Do you take it from him or?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Hey, cat, welcome in. So yeah,
Uh,
so you pick up the pole, and the first thing you realize is this is like a really heavy pole. Like, heavy for wood. Like, this thing's obviously meant to hold up to stuff. But obviously, if you cut that down, it's going to be a pretty good weapon. You know, if you cut it down into sort of like 1-2 foot long shafts, they'll make really good, sturdy staves or stakes.
Turn back to the shopkeep and ask him how much for 3.
Well, now, for 3 of them, how does 2 gold sound?
It's a bit much. How about a gold and 5 silver?
It's been a long time since anyone's haggled in my shop, boyo. I like it. You got a deal.
We have a deal.
So, just take a gold and 5 silver out your bag, and yeah.
Got any playing card sets of any sort?
Yeah, we got that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Alright.
What kind? You just after a standard playing card set, son?
What kind you got?
Let me have a look for you. Looks like we've just got standard playing cards in the back here. We don't have anything else.
Alright, I'll take one of those. How much?
That'll be 5 silver.
How about 2 silver?
Jesus Christ.
Well, now, more bartering. Let's make it 4.
Let's make it 3.
You got yourself a deal.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Alright. I'll take
So-
out 3 silver.
And you can give. I'll actually go in and give you the playing card set real quick.
Okay. Minus 3
Um,
silver.
Hello, Owen Plays. Welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a good day. I'm looking
Is
for
this
here.
gonna be the fucking bagpipes? of
It's
the
playing
campaign?
cards. How can he have problems with?
I like to gamble.
You never
what can I
know.
say?
You
It's
never know.
You
It's
never
Anyway,
know.
does anybody have any
On the
wood
way.
carving tools?
I have thieves'
I turned-
tools.
You can just use a
wood carving
dagger.
Tool. I mean, I have a knife.
Okay. That
I have a
works.
dagger to cut it down to size, literally.
Right, you've got a
Alright.
playing card set now.
Sweet.
I turned to Wisp and asked him if he needs anything else. Because if not, I got what we need.
I think I got what I came for, honestly. I got plenty of food and water.
Alright, let's go back to the good old Kevin 4-wheeler caravan.
What about Grimfang? Does he need anything?
I would say, hold on a second, fellas. You guys go. I need to see what they got here.
Alright, we'll see you back.
So, Caliban and Wisp sort of turn around and walk out the shop, leaving Grimfang on his own with the storekeep. The storekeep gives you a smile and sort of says, "And what can I get you then, Sonny?"
So you say you didn't have any weapons or armor.
I'm afraid not. No, we don't really carry stuff like that. The next place along the road that you're going to find stuff like that is probably Fowlin.
Do you happen to have any elixirs by chance?
Sorry, son. We didn't do anything like that. It's just simple supplies.
So what simple supplies do you have?
Food rations, adventuring kits, rope, torches, lanterns, stuff like that. We don't really do any of the fancy stuff.
I think I'm stocked up then on items, but just because my friends kind of ride you out on some of the money, I'll give you one of my pieces of gold.
There's no need for that, son. I like a bit of bartering. Besides, I was overpricing those items to hell.
Where were you now?
Oh, of course I was. Your friends got ripped the fuck off.
You're a good salesman. I'll tell you that much.
You have a
Good
good
luck
day
in your
now.
shopkeeping journey. Have a good day.
You too, Sonny. And with that,
I'm so glad you went that route because I really wanted you to. Oh, that's great.
the second you said you want to pay it back, I was like, oh, I know what I could do with this.
Yeah, I was thinking like you have to make something to like rip these guys off. Because I'm like, even for wood, 2 gold is way too much.
Oh yeah, that should have been like 10 silver at maximum.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh.
you all sort of hobble over, get in the wagon. You kind of stow the sort of poles that you just purchased under the sort of benches next to like your other supplies, like your packs and the holy water and your food rations, that kind of stuff. And you head out. You get traveling. All right. You give me the Aiden. Give me a D10 roll.
Okie dokie.
Just a blank D10 is all I need.
I almost did a D100. D10. Roll it. Give me some good shit.
A 3.
Yeah, 3.
Roll again, because we've already had that one.
Okay. Come on. 9.
We haven't had that one.
What's 9? I'm pretty sure that was a big one. Okay. That actually tracks quite nicely. Give me a second. I need to do something real quick.
Okay.
I need to... Chris, give me a perception check.
Perception.
Ash, hello, my friend. Welcome in.
Come on, big money, big money. Motherfucker! 6! Where's this shit rolls?
Well, okay. You're kind of chatting away with everyone else, you know, having a grand old time. And yeah, that's it really. You don't really notice anything out of the ordinary.
Alright.
Disappointing.
So
Wait, so what did me rolling the D10 do?
That picked the outcome for this traveling day.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
gotcha.
Which is
But since we didn't see anything, nothing happened.
Basically, yeah. Well, it wasn't what you didn't see; it's what you didn't hear.
Oh.
So yeah, so you're all traveling.
Can we all listen out for this, or?
No, it was going to be one person at random,
Okay.
Cool.
and it was going to be a one-off roll. So he failed it, so you don't really get
Gotcha.
anything.
Okay.
If he'd rolled high enough to hear the thing, like match the roll that I'd set, then the rest of you could have rolled. Try and see if you could figure out what it was. But as it stands, yeah, you didn't hear anything. But you know, you spend
What was the roll that we needed to hit?
14 at the minimum.
Yeah.
It keeps hitting the side and not even
Yeah.
rolling. It just
So
Like,
it was
oh.
so what I had was one player at random does a perception check, and
Gotcha.
basically there's progressive rolls. So like if you hit 14, you kind of hear something. If you beat a higher level, you can kind of tell where it's coming from, and if you beat an even higher level, you can tell what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a low roll, you just continue on your journey and
Yeah,
care.
but we'll keep it because we can do it again later. Because you guys don't know what happens is the main thing.
That's fair.
So you're traveling along. Is there there's nothing going to happen this time. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're traveling? Do you want to start preparing some of those wooden poles into stakes?
Well, you see, the thing is, I've been drinking a lot over the past over this journey.
Well, you mean with that weak ass whiskey?
It's not whiskey, it's ale.
Listen,
Oh.
it's the strongest stuff I get from where I come from.
I take a chug
whatever.
just to spite him. Like nothing.
You ain't touching my alcohol, but
I
I'm
already
surprised
did
none
it
of you
once.
stocked up on booze before you left the inn.
I mean,
I'm surprised that Wisp and Dumas haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I drink enough just so that I don't run out in the 24 hours it fills up.
Yeah, you're just a functioning alcoholic at this point, is all you are.
Drink when I
A
drink.
functioning one.
No, but
Alright.
no, as I was saying, I've been drinking a fair bit over the past however long we've been traveling.
I'll take one of the poles and like fashion it into a steak. Why not? To help calibrate.
Right.
out.
So can we
If
just
anything, Wisp.
stop the wagon just so I can take a piss in the.
It's over the side.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
we'll say that you guys take a stop. So Dumas kind of disappears, like, sort of like shallow into the woods to sort of relieve himself. Low functioning, you mean. As for Wisp, who is preparing some staves, give me a... Let me see, what would work? What would work for this?
Sleight of hand.
That's more for stealth, and that's for like sort of like planting items and stuff. Give me just a straight dexterity check to see how well your hands can work with a dagger to craft stuff.
Alright.
How well his hands can work the wood.
20.
All right, so with that, you're able to basically take the 4-foot long stake, cut it down the middle into two roughly 2-foot long lengths of wood, and while Dumas is away, pissing his life away, you managed to whittle decently sharp points into each of the stakes, into each of the dowels of wood. So there are now 2 stakes in the wagon.
Alright.
Milo, hello, my friend. Welcome in.
I
Good to
hand
see you.
one to Calibrand. Here's the first one. Now hold on to this one.
For the sake of things right now, we'll just say that they're being stored in the wagon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you store them, like, you'll store them with the holy water, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? Dumas. My good friend. Give me a perception check. What is it? Man's got some bladder awareness skills. My on cap, oh god. Man just rolled a nat 20 while taking a piss.
His senses are heightened. No,
His senses
Dumas' secret ability is when he takes a piss, the world becomes serene bliss.
The world becomes 10 times sharper. So yeah, you're
Or like,
like tucked in behind a tree so no one else can see what you're doing, and you're just cracking your fucking bladder out. And you kind of hear a crack ahead of you deep in the woods. You kind of look and you kind of see a sort of like trio of sort of small figures looking back at you. What do you do?
well, first thing I'm gonna do is finish my piss,
Yep, understandable.
and then I'm gonna call the others over to help to back me up while we check this out.
You might be pee shy. Yeah, Dumas. Would it be fair to say that Dumas can't perform with an audience?
I ain't helping you.
No, guys, I see something.
You need
Figures.
me to hold it for you, little bud.
I don't need help taking a fucking piss. I
So-
see figures. So once I finish, come here.
So at this, you kind of look up, and the 3 figures, they're a little bit closer now. You can tell that they're kobolds. There's a little trio of kobolds. And they're looking at you kind of interested because, you know, a goblin's roughly the sort of same size and stature as a kobold, and they're kind of like muttering in Draconic. I don't think anyone can understand Draconic. But they're kind of muttering away in Draconic to themselves. Aiden,
I walk up to Dumas.
Yeah.
do you do anything? Are you going to join them, or are you going to stay in the wagon?
Why, all of them going?
Well, Calibrand walks up, and obviously, you know, he's a big feathery man bird in armor. He's quite an impressive sight, and the kobolds kind of look up in awe at you, like.
I'll go.
I mean,
but I want to be his shadow, like, you know, erase my presence just in case they're hostile.
All right, give me a stealth check.
All right, Kevin, watch McTavish.
22.
So yeah, Wisp just straight up disappears. Like, he just becomes one of the shadows, and none of you can tell where he is. And then Grimfang kind of wanders up, this tall, imposing figure. And as he sort of comes out from behind the trees, all three of the kobolds spot him and just sort of go, yeah! And just take off. They just run.
I was gonna say, could I not do a stealth check?
It's too late. So yeah.
Again, I'm big and burly, but I have a +4 in that.
How the hell do you have a +4 in stealth?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Fucking hell, my guy.
I think my
naked ninja.
dexterity is high.
Nice.
Yeah, +2 in dexterity, so maybe that does
That's not too
something.
bad. So yeah, the kobolds just flee in terror. Do you guys chase them, or do you guys head back to the wagon?
Now,
Now let's chase them. Kevin's got McTavish.
I'll chase them. I'm so stealthed out, so I'm just a shadow.
I turn to the rest of the party and go, I've always wanted to keep one as a pet.
Let's do it then. Let's do it.
I just
go,
pop
let's
out
go.
right behind
God, this is.
Calibrate and be like, yeah, I totally agree. Like, my head is just underneath his armpit. It was like, twist my head up towards him. Like, hey,
You
buddy.
just kind of poke your head in between his arm and torso, look up at him, and say,
It's just
"It's
like
a great
dick
idea."
foot.
I have a feeling we're all going to be rolling for initiative now.
I'm a shadow, so, like,
Nah.
it's fine.
That's fine.
A kobold fight was never on the books because, like, it's fucking kobolds. A stiff
Fair
breeze
enough.
could knock them over.
I blow at them.
So
No.
I turned to Dumas as we go off, and I was like, "So did you give him a little show?"
Nothing intentional. It's not my fault they're voyagers.
Hey.
You mean
All right.
voyeurs?
Voyagers, whatever. It's not my fault they're voyagers. It's not my fault they're voyagers.
So you kind of take off. Well, actually, like they might be like taken off in complete terror, but they're still quite, you know, little dexterous creatures. They know not how to not keep a track. Who's leading the hunt for the kobolds?
Can I just
Probably
full speed
Wisp is
sprint
that
at them?
stealth. Yeah, Wisp leaves, but then Caliburn just bolts at them.
Well,
I never left. I'm still here.
by the time you guys have been like standing there muttering as they're fleeing, you've kind of not lost where they're going. You kind of lost track of where they're headed. So, all of you, give me investigation checks to see if you can try and figure out which way they went.
Well, what the hell?
All right,
I'm
so
not 20, but I'm a -1.
oh, nice. That's not bad. So, Wisp and
15.
Callum, wait, are you?
Why am I getting good rolls on the worst things for me?
But wait,
Are you
was
low
there a
intelligence,
roll an
or-
at 20?
Huh?
You are kind of low intelligence. You should be playing into the sort of like. I kind of have expected you to play into the dumb barbarian kind of tactic, but you know, fair play.
Well, I would have, but you said roll for investigation. I'm like, all right, sure.
Well, like
But,
even in your role play, you could be going like, "Little dragons go that way."
No, I know where they are, but I just screw with the team. I'm like, Yeah, I have no clue where they are, but I secretly like know exactly where they were.
But even then, Dumas also rolled high enough. So Dumas, you also know where the kobolds went. But do you want to chase them, or do you want to just go back to the wagon and pass out?
Who wants them as the pet?
Caliban does.
Why do you?
I'm
Why
gonna
do
go
you?
find them.
They're not wild animals. You can't tame a kobold.
Oh, that attitude.
We can try. Let's go.
Oh god.
Alright, let's do it.
It's just, yeah, I guess.
Oh, this because I
Ugh.
want you to take a piss.
I'm just gonna follow whoever it is, because I'm just shadows, so I'm...
Right. So Wisp is kind of in in Calibran's shadow as
He
pair of
might
them
be
just
shy.
take off.
God damn it, Ash.
So Calibran and Wisp kind of just take off in the direction that Dumas kind of pointed. Dumas and Grimfang, do you guys follow them?
Sure.
Yeah, we do.
Oh god. So the four of you just take off into the forest. And all of you give me obviously you're not trying not to be spotted. All of you give me stealth checks.
Fuck.
Alright. Come on, nat 20. Alright, I got 12.
I love how Calibrant managed to roll the same roll twice.
Yeah, I mean, I have stealth with disadvantage, so.
Where's mine at? I rolled mine, didn't I?
Yeah, I've got four of them there.
I
Stealth,
clinkety clank
stealth.
everywhere, man.
Yeah,
How
so
do I roll so
12.
so the four of yous aren't doing 12. That's 2 12s and 2 11s. So yeah, you're
I got
not.
a 12. I got a 20.
Huh? Oh yeah, you did
Yeah,
got.
Ryan
You
got
did
20.
got. Oh, you did. Why did I think you were 12? Never mind. So
You're on me.
Ryan kind of like filters in between the trees, and he's
Let's
doing a
just fall
really
on
good
top
job
each other.
of making himself hidden. The rest of you, however, you make a charging pack of bison seem quiet,
Perfect.
and as you approach a clearing, you could already see that the kobolds have already packed up whatever they had and are already fleeing. All three of them, just all in different directions.
Case after one.
And by the time you get to the but this clearing is like way far off from where you are. And by the time you get there, because of how good these kobolds are at masking where they've gone, tell you what, give me another round of investigation.
Okay.
That's right, if I get another nat 20 on this.
And
Okay,
that's
I got a 12
13.
again.
Wait, no. That's a 23 for me.
Yeah.
Mine will load.
So yeah, you're kind of looking around. None of you, except for Dumas, can kind of figure out where any of them went. But Dumas, you're kind of
How
able
does the
to.
drunk goblin have more sight than
I
you
don't
do?
know, and it's
Wait,
really annoying me because I don't want you to get these fucking kobolds.
I got an
Anyway,
18. How do I not see anything?
because I made it a really high roll.
These kobolds?
Of course I don't. I don't have to deal with this.
I have a +3 in I have a +3 in intelligence, so that gives me a +5
Hey,
in investigation.
Hey, Hamish.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone.
Oh look, he's finally stopped arguing.
So-
Don't mind this sign.
So you're all kind of in this clearing looking for these kobolds, and all of a sudden in the distance you just hear this thunderclap, kind of in the direction your wagon was.
That's
You-
the sign that McTavish woke up.
Do you want to go
Holy
back and
sprint.
check?
Looks
Yes,
like the old
full
married
sprint.
couple finally stopped arguing.
Sure.
Yeah, fine, Will.
So as the three of you approach the wagon, you see that McTavish is kind of just woken up and is kind of sat there, sort of looking around. And as the four of you kind of filter out the forest, McTavish, what do you say as they come filtering out the forest?
Fuck have you been? Where'd everybody go?
We've been
Where's my
hunting.
We were on adventures while you were unconscious.
We were kobold hunting.
You were in a freaking coma the whole time during our adventure. You didn't have to sit through boring wagon rides the whole time. No offense, Kevin.
I blame the
None
wizard.
taken.
I blame the wizard.
I
He
Yeah,
blames
well,
the
you
wind.
know, sometimes you can't find a wife, so you're just trying to find a pet instead.
He said it was safe.
The implications of that statement alone. Enough said.
I just look at Caliban, just like shaking my head in disappointment. I was like, my respect for you just dwindled so much now.
Yeah.
Unless that's a loud alcoholic burp that reeks the area.
Ugh.
Anyway, so what do you guys do now? You've lost the track of the kobolds. Do you want to get back into the wagon and head home?
Caliburn, let's
Head
just go
forward,
home.
or
Yeah, let's just head on. I can't.
I'll find a
Mosey
pet
along.
another day.
I don't want to use up any more of my.
We'll run into a
investigation
kobold
rolls.
eventually, I'm sure.
right? So you all kind of clamber into the wagon and you head to the next rest stop. This one is actually kind of close to the you have to turn off the road to get to this one, but it's a little sort of coastal fishing village. And it's kind of like what you'd expect. Like, there's a small row of houses on the waterfront, a small little marina. Again, there's an inn, but this time there's another bar on the other side of the marina, as well as one built into the inn. There's a small sort of like general goods store which sells mostly like fishing supplies and stuff, applicable for the location. And there's a small sort of crowd of, local fishermen milling about.
I would like to go to the bar by the marina.
Can I go eavesdrop on the fisherman?
I tried to gather myself as the wagon ride is making me very, very ill.
Right.
You've
So-
been asleep for the majority of it. What are you on about?
Some say asleep, some say the worst hangover you've ever had. So anyway, so the wagon's parked up, and for once, McTavish isn't left in the back of the wagon like a bit of luggage. He staggers up to the room, and are we to assume that McTavish just goes straight and rest?
I stumble my way through as much as I can, groaning with each step.
So you stumble up to your room and just pass out in a
No
bed?
wonder the limbs don't work.
Yes.
So
Still
yeah,
have a
Many
sign
breaths.
around his neck.
we never hung a sign on his neck. It was hung on the side of the
Oh.
wagon.
Oh,
So McTavish is passed out in the bed. Calibrand's heading to the pub on the other side of the marina. We'll get to Dumas in a little bit. Grimfang and Wisp, what are you two doing?
they said there was a weapon shop, right, in the next town over. I assume this is the town.
No. They said that the next town there's going to be a weapon shop, and it's called Folin. You're probably about halfway between Port Damali and Folin right now.
Okay. I want to gather some information, like from some shady characters, if there are any of my sort.
I mean,
And a fishing village.
yeah.
I mean, hey, you never know.
So you're well, tell you what, give me a perception check. And while you're doing that, Grimfang, what do you do?
You know, really stop.
I
not
mean-
rolling 8.
I'll do some perception checks too. Why not?
I mean, that was more for Wisp specifically. Because you're not going to be looking for what he's looking for.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, Wisp, as far as you can tell, there's nothing really there.
Alright.
Nothing seems out of place. Even with your
Yeah, I
eyes.
think I'll just hit the hay for the night.
Alright, so Grimfang heads up to the inn room as well and settles down into a bed across from McTavish. Dumas, you're listening in on the fishermen, correct?
Correct.
So there's a pair of fishermen sort of parked. They're sort of sat on the seawall next to the small sort of like harbour at this village. And they're just chatting away. You can't really sort of like figure out what they're saying. Like, nothing seems out of the ordinary. They're more talking about like the how the fishing conditions were, where they did their fishing, what kind of catches they got. Nothing of interest.
I investigate them.
I mean, give me a perception check first of all.
That will be a 17.
All right, so you're listening in, and you hear them start to talk about a string of thefts that had been happening in the plum groves recently.
Yeah.
And you kind of just hear them sort of chatting about it. Like one of the guys was basically like, "So did you hear about those thefts happening down the road?" And the other guy's like, "Not really. No. What are you hearing about?" I was like, "Well, apparently Jerry was fishing up by the plum groves, and one of the guards basically dragged him to the shore and started questioning him about it. Apparently, there's been some thievery going on up there. They thought he might have been involved in it." So you're gonna hear this kind of snippet of conversation before. Maxwell, give me a stealth check.
That will be a 19.
Oh, well,
What the fuck are my rolls?
So they kind of keep muttering up. They kind of keep talking like that and look around, and they see you kind of stood along the other end of the sort of like in earshot, but like as far as they're aware, you're not paying them any attention. So they kind of talk about the thefts a little bit more, but then they do go on to normal conversation again, just talking about how the weather was, and you don't really get much else out of them.
Right, well, I'm gonna.
So while
I think.
what are you doing?
The others need to know this information because are we going to be passing through that area?
Possibly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Right.
tell them about the theft.
So while that's happening, Calibrand, you're heading into the bar at the other end of the marina.
Yep.
So you open up the door and it's fairly busy. It's kind of similar to what you saw in the logging village. You know, a couple of the locals sat at the bar, a couple of guys sat nursing a warm pint by the fire. There's always a fireplace in these places.
I'll go up to the bar. Order a full pint of ale.
All right, pal. That'll be
And
one
this is
silver.
here, Dumas say, "You bastard!"
Easy enough.
Sorry. What was that?
Huh?
What did you say, Aiden?
And then in the distance, you hear Dumas say, "You bastard!"
Why is Dumas saying you bastard?
His ale sense is always tingling.
Wait, what are you saying about me?
The fact that you can
I'm saying
sense when people are drinking good ale.
He's drinking some ale, and then you hear Dumas in the distance say, "You bastard!" Your ale sense went off when
Right.
somebody's making a pint of ale.
Easy enough. So
You didn't say anything from me. Sparkling Ray.
Oh my God.
Don't. So
Magic missile's ass.
Please don't. So Calibrand sat at the bar. He's giving the guy a silver piece. You're drinking away at this ale. Not as nice as what you had up the road. This one's a little bit salty. You know, you're near the sea. It's kind of par for the course.
Easy enough. I turn to the guys sitting around me and I ask if anything interesting goes on.
The guy's kind of sort of chuckle and says, not much, but did you hear what happened to Jerry's?
Honestly, we just got into town after, just
Ah,
traveling through, just looking through.
You're travelers. Which way you heading?
Yeah. Down to Foley.
You're heading in Fullen way. Well, you're probably going to be heading past the plum groves. Well. Turns out there's been a bit of a string of thefts going on there recently. Aye, one of our pal Jerry, he was fishing and he went a wee bit too far to the west. To the east even. And he got pulled ashore by a gang of the local guard. And they questioned him for half the day before they let him go. Thought he was involved with the theft somehow.
All that for a string of thefts?
Well, you see, word on the street is that they've been stealing really, really pricey alcohol out of the breweries up there.
Interesting. Nobody likes a good brewery thief.
Absolutely not. Anyways. What were
have
you
a
gonna say?
few friends that might wanna know about this information.
Of course, pal. Do with it what you will.
Appreciate it.
No worries. You have a good day now.
You too. I'll walk back over to the rest of the guys.
Well, the ones that aren't passed out in bed. Actually, Wisp, what are
Yeah.
you doing right now?
I walk into the bar and sit out at a.
Did you walk in at the same time as Calibrand, or are you walking in just as he's getting up to leave and find the rest of you?
Just as he's getting up to leave.
Alright.
Walk in, sit down at a fairly decent open table. I'm gonna like sit around.
You want to
some
sit in
people,
a
you know,
spot where you can see everything.
Yeah, and like
Mm.
get a feel for the place.
Do I see him walk in?
Oh yeah, you see him walk past.
Oh, well then I turn around and be like, hey, I got some information we might want to talk about.
All right, let me do what I do best, and I'll meet you upstairs with the others, because I assume one of us is already passed out for the day.
Probably. Let me go make sure that nobody's falling down any more stairs.
Yeah, we wouldn't want the low guy to bonk his head.
Right.
Orange as
No.
well, so we get stuck.
Or the skinny roguish type as I walk outside.
Whatever. I
Right.
just sit down in the central area and just like,
Where you can sort of see everything and hear everything.
yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Come on, don't hit the damn freaking thing, would you? Oh, come on, that was a nat 20. Fuck off.
That's, you know what? I'm gonna be kind. Your rolls have been so trash. Just do another one.
Yeah, that's BS, honestly. That was a nat 20. Thank you. 20.
Right. So you kind of sit down against sort of like the left hand, sort of like back wall there of the bar at a table. You're kind of looking around, and you can kind of see the two guys that you saw Calibrand chatting with when you walked in. They're still sat at the bar, chatting. They're now chatting with the barkeep. At the back of the bar, near the fireplace, there's a pair of older guys who are just kind of just sitting there in silence, just nursing their beer. But you notice at the back of the bar, in sort of a shadowy spot, there's a fella kind of sat up against in the corner at a table, head drawn low, sort of tucked away in a corner, just making himself seem as inconspicuous as possible.
Alright, I'll do the same. I casually walk up to him, just trying to like blend in with his kind of vibe. And I sit down at the table, it's like whip out my deck of cards, but like care for a hand or two.
The guy looks up at you and goes, "What's your wagering, boy?"
I'm a man of information, so let's wager what you know, and we'll wager what I know.
All right, then.
I just deal out the cards and everything like that.
Right. Here's what we're going to do. Roll a blank D100. Just a blank D100.
Okay.
I'm going to roll one as well. Whoever wins gets the information.
Alright. 41.
39.
Ooh.
Let's go with.
Nice. So you play a couple hands. What kind of game are you playing? There's my question. What are you playing?
Blackjack.
Ah.
Old maid.
Rummy.
Ramble.
Fucking rummy.
Bridge.
Canasta. I actually learned how to play
Yes.
Canasta today. It's really complicated. Anyway, so you win a couple hands, and the guy smiles, says, "Well then, what do you want to know?"
And I'm gonna use my thieves' can because obviously we're the same background, so nobody
Absolutely.
will understand us. Of course, I'm like, you and my associates are on a little traveling occasion, if you may.
You
I'm
just
not
you can
thinking-
you don't have to actually mumble the message. You can tell me what you say, and it'll be related to you,
okay.
Scan.
Basically,
What?
vaguely,
What kind of message are you trying to relate to the gentleman?
I'm trying to tell him like we're being sent on this mission. See if there's any like news about them in the area. See if there's any like any shifty characters, anything like that of the sort. Not like specific to vampires, but like any,
Well,
thefts or just like
there's-
gangs around here.
Well, I may not have had many altercations with them myself, but there's supposedly a gang of fellers working out of Folin.
Okay.
Word on the street is they're the ones responsible for the local thievery
What have they
that's
been
been
up
going
to?
on. Well, you see, between here and Folin there's a place called the Plum Groves. It's where the majority of the wineries and meaderies grow their fruits and berries for their alcohols. There's been a few thefts at the breweries as of late.
What kind of thefts, like quantity-wise? What are we talking?
It's been quite a lot.
Alright. I lift up my sleeve a little and show him my tattoo of the Grudge Gang, see if he recognizes this symbol. I ask him, has anybody of this gang showed up here recently, or have you heard any talk about that Grudge Gang?
The Grudge Gang. So, you're another fella out of Shady Creek, huh?
I am. I used to be their leader.
Aye. That's what a lot of people say. Guy I talked to, would have been a year and a half ago now. He said he worked quite close with their leader. Word on the street is he got roped into that adventuring party that went missing out on Ecodranas.
I see. Does anyone have any knowledge of said person's whereabouts?
Not really. They went off grid. They've been off grid for the last year. There were rumors, but nothing stable.
And this was a year and a half ago.
He was in the group that went missing a year ago. I met him a year and a half ago when he was doing traveling. Phenomenal locksmith.
He's a locksmith now?
Yeah.
Any chance I can, where his whereabouts are? I'd like to meet this man.
Like I said, he's off grid. Him and that adventuring
he's off
party.
grid.
They went missing over a year ago.
Thank you for your time. I slip him 1 gold. You
For
stay
what
safe out there.
For what it's worth, kid. If a man of your kind's looking for work, peek your head around Sawyer Street when you get to Folin. You might find someone that would make use of your abilities.
Street. Okay, I'll take note of that. You have a good night now.
You too. And remember, you never saw my face.
I never saw your face. You never saw my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I just quietly gather my cards and walk upstairs to the rest of them.
Well, you walk across the marina to the other bar.
Yeah.
Alright, so at this point, the 5 of you are now... Well, I say the 5 of you. McTavish is already, again, comatose at the back of the room. And Grimfang is probably... Would Grimfang be asleep at this point?
Yeah.
Right. In that case, the 3 of you... Do you guys want to take a rest and then discuss everything that happened in the morning?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Sure.
Alright, so you all take...
Can I be the,
What do you want to do?
first, can I be the first to disclose the information since I was the first to find out?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So you all wake up and you're all sort of preparing to go. You're actually all sat in the sort of like dining area downstairs in the inn, all sort of nursing a seafood breakfast. So,
Right.
as you're tucking into your fried salmon, what do Dumas? What do you say?
Listen, I was doing some eavesdropping on some of the fishermen in the village, and I found out something. Apparently, there's been a few thefts up in the plum groves.
Kind of thefts.
And well, since we're gonna be passing along there, I feel like it'd be best to keep our wits about us.
Agreed.
Thanks for the information,
You mean
Dumas.
those thefts that they were stealing the brewery's alcohol, yeah?
Yeah. I've heard a
Alcohol
few things.
thieves, monsters.
I did hear from an associate of mine now, a little contact that I can come back to, that the quantities of theft have been great, but no one knows where they went exactly. They seem to be in the area.
Well, we should keep our wits about us just so we don't lose anything.
Let's just.
I mean,
That's what that accomplice doesn't.
I
bite you
mean,
in the
Chris, I
ass
did
later.
kind of like half tell you where they might be.
I did relay that to them.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I'm relaying it to them now.
What? That they might be working out of Sawyer Street.
Yeah, like where was it? Felwyn? Sawyer Street and
Fuelin or Fuelin.
How do you spell that?
Feolinn.
I was gonna
That's
say,
where we're
John,
going, right?
Yeah, that's your
why
next
haven't
stop.
Smuggler,
That'll be one of your next
haven't
stops.
Smuggler-
You'll probably have one
Okay.
stop before you get there, and then yeah.
John, do I have any smuggler contacts in the area?
Are you a smuggler?
Yes. In my description, smuggler.
It does.
Yeah, you do. So you're with the smuggler background, you're basically able to get free accommodation if you would otherwise have to pay.
Alright. I was wondering. Are there
And
any
there's
other
also a
smuggler
safe house, so if someone's been tracking you down or
Oh,
hunting you, you can get free accommodation and you'll be safe there.
Yeah, but I was wondering if I have any smuggler contacts in the area or anything like that.
I mean, you're aware of the smuggling rings in the area. You kind of know how they operate, stuff like that. So you might know. You probably wouldn't know who is responsible for the thefts themselves, but you could probably make a good guess as to who's responsible for smuggling the stolen liquor out of Fuelin.
Yeah. That we could track down their buyers and like figure out where it's coming from.
Do you relay that information to the party?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Right. So, is there anything else anyone wants to relay?
I tell
Yeah.
them about Sawyer Street and how I should go looking around there just to get some more info on the matter as we pass into Fuelin. But other than
Okay.
that, I just
I
hobble
ask him
into
if
the
he
wagon.
needs, if that's something he needs to do by himself.
I mean, it would be good just to have an extra person, maybe McTavish, just for some extra relay of
Mac-
my background.
Honestly, McTavish would probably be the best bet because he's smuggler.
Yeah. I think McTavish
That makes
and I'll
sense.
go along
I-
once we pass on through.
I flex my wings and I stand out a little bit.
Yeah, you would attract the wrong kind of attention, especially for one of your caliber. Around these folks. They might
Easy
want to
enough.
sell you,
Right.
capture you.
So, is there anything else anyone wants to discuss, or shall we get back to traveling?
The salmon is terrible.
Let's get on the
Here.
road.
Yeah, let's get on the road here.
All right.
One half
Let's
star
keep
on
moving.
Ayop.
In that case, Hamish, roll a d10 for me.
1 second.
So it's just a blank roll. So if you press the little red dice button at the bottom right of D&D Beyond,
He's familiar.
Just don't do
It's
50
not
million.
a 6. What's number 6?
I don't think we've had 6 have one.
All right. So where are we? Let me have a look at the map real quick to see if this works. So we're yeah, do you know how that works? So you kind of cross. So as you're leaving the coast, you kind of cross a small crossing the river, and you're sort of heading west, or east even, and you'll have to start heading south down through the hills. As you're approaching the hills, I want everyone to give me a perception check.
Give me 20 minutes to find it.
No worries.
To be shitting me, why am I roll so
Bro,
good?
how am I +4 in perception and I haven't rolled anything above a 9?
Yeah, where do I find perception check?
Right.
17.
Not bad. So, Hamish, if you look at your character build, right?
Yep.
And down the sort of middle of the screen, there'll be like acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, such and such. Your skills.
Oh yeah.
Perception is kind of halfway down-ish.
Underneath the nature.
14. Oh, 17.
Okay, right. So, what we got there? We got 17, 8, 26. And 17 again, I think it was. So,
We've got 2 8s, 2 17s, and a 20.
who else? Oh, did Aiden roll an 18? An 8 even?
I rolled, yeah.
Right.
That was me because I was doing something, but I
No
heard you.
worries. So, Dumas, Wisp, and McTavish. The three of you are kind of... You're all sat on the sort of same side of the wagon with your backs to the ocean, which is about probably a mile away from you. But you can still kind of hear in the distance. And as you're approaching the foothills, you all spot a faint smoke trail sort of floating up into the air. A sort of faint pillar of smoke. What would you like to do?
Pull it out.
You want to blow out the smoke.
No, call it out to the others.
Alright. So, Drewmass makes you up the rest of you aware to this sort of trail of smoke rising off in the distance. From where you are, considering Dumas is 20, you can kind of tell it's roughly in the direction you're going. Like if your path is going sort of like southeast, the smoke is probably like directly east of you, and where you are right now, it's about 2 miles away. What would you like to do?
Check
So
it
we
out.
investigate.
You want to investigate?
Following on them. Yeah.
All right. So, the wagon kind of breaks off the path, off the main road, and sort of follows a sort of loose track through the hills. You're sort of following a small sort of valley, headed towards the where the sort of pillar of smoke was. And you eventually come to a sort of like small sort of clearing, I guess you would say. Like it's a sort of flat area. You've got hills kind of rising quite sharply ahead of you and sort of off to the like, sort of curving to the right a wee bit. Whereas sort of like to your left and behind you is all more open, sort of rolling low hills. Ahead of you can kind of see the remains of a campsite. It probably looks like it's been abandoned for a few days. Like the smoke you were seeing was really faint, and it was like just the remains of like this fire looks like it's been out for a couple days. But other than that, there is a cave at the back of the camp in the side of the cliff. What do you want to do?
Now investigate.
Yeah.
Are you investigating the cave or the camp first?
Investigating the campsite.
I'm
All
going to
right.
the cave.
McTavish, roll investigation, and anyone else that's investigating the camp, give me investigation rolls.
Okay.
Amish, that's intimidation.
Oh.
You don't even succeed in
Nice.
intimidating the camp, unfortunately.
I'll investigate as well.
15.
Okay, we got...
7.
Goes in.
Right, so Grimfang McTavish, as far as you're aware, it looks like the camp was just sort of... This looks like it was abandoned. Wisp, you
I
look a
feel
little
like
bit
I intimidated it
closer.
better.
Yeah, you somehow managed to intimidate it more than you can investigate it. Wisp, you look a little bit closer,
You just
and
scream
you
at the top of your lungs,
notice...
then everybody gets scared of you.
So, Wisp, you kind of notice sort of like long faded, but there's what look like claw marks in the ground. And what looks like an abandoned, tattered tent canvas is actually shredded. Like something's clawed through it.
And would I know what kind of claw marks they are? Like, is there any way I can investigate?
That'd be a
Sure.
nature check, no?
Yeah, give me a nature check. That's probably the best bet.
19.
Right. From what you can tell, it doesn't look like something that should... It doesn't look like something common to the area. Whatever it is, it's probably something quite rare, and it's probably quite big. You're probably thinking around the size of a horse, as a sort of general sort of size scale. Maybe no as tall as a horse, but sort of like the same sort of general length and weight sort of idea.
Okay.
And the claw marks are clean. Like the claw cuts in the fabric are clean. They're not tatty. It doesn't look like the claws were. It looks like the claws were really sharp. So whoever did this.
Like
I'm
wolf
thinking
claw
it's a
marks
really-
or
No,
bear
it doesn't
claw
look like
marks?
something. It doesn't look like something like that. It looks like something different. You can't really put with the roll you got. You can tell it's not like something common to the area. It's not like a bear or a wolf or anything like that. It's something a bit more, mystical. But you can't tell what it was.
I'm thinking it's
Exactly.
a really fat vampire.
It's always
Relay
vampires
it
for
to
you.
the rest of the group. Be like, this wasn't by an animal, at least of normal means, anyways. Maybe with my nature roll, would I be able to see if there's any tracks left behind or anything?
I mean, the camp's been abandoned for like a good couple days, but over time, like the claw marks were only noticeable because they were deep in the ground. Paw marks or feet marks by this time would have faded away in the wind.
Sure. I relayed this to Grimfang and everyone around me. It was like, yeah, so something not animalistic of normal means, maybe mythical or something, attacked this camp. I don't see any
Let's
tracks.
catch it.
John, can I do a perception check to look for any tracks or anything around the camp?
Sure.
But
You're
that-
gonna need a high roll though, because
Alright.
obviously everything will have faded, so it's gonna have to be quite a good one. So
I mean, no problem
Yeah.
trying, right?
absolutely. With a 12, you don't really see much. Like as far as you're aware.
I'll try mine.
Go for it.
Come on, now 20. Damn it, I almost did it. 13.
Yeah, with a 13, you don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Do you guys
Damn
want
it.
to go investigate the cave, perhaps? I mean, whatever
Already
the
am.
hell this thing is, it may still be around for all we know.
Yeah.
Cave's a good
So-
bet. Let's catch
Yeah.
it and keep it as a pet.
So you guys are going to investigate the cave?
How far
I
away
mean,
Sure.
is the
I've already been
cave?
investigating the cave.
Ryan, you're kind of standing at the foot of the cave while everyone else is exploring.
How far away is the
Yeah,
cave
while
from,
approaching,
like,
while
You're like
right already.
it's like 15 feet away from the camp. The camp was set up
Oh,
quite
okay.
kind of close to the edge of the cave. Like this
Oh,
this
okay.
clearing is maybe only about 30 feet across, and the camp's pretty
Like
much in the
before-
middle of it. The cave entrance looks about 10 feet tall by about 6 or 7 feet wide. It's a very tall opening. It's quite, but it looks natural.
I will take out my tinderbox and make a torch.
So I just want to check: are you guys all agreeing that you're going to be searching the cave?
The cave? Sure.
Yes.
Let's roll for initiative.
Well, in that case, that's where we're going to end tonight's session then.
Oh,
Aw, the cliffhanger.
You are
the hanger. Or in this case, the cave hanger.
I mean, I do have the majority of the cave encounter set up. There's just one thing I forgot to set up, and that was the loot, and I don't want to have to do that on the fly. So,
That's very
Makes sense. Because
So-
plus the cave was like large enough for us to explore, right?
oh yeah, it's gonna be quite big, and it'll make for like at least half of the next session, and I reckon by the end of the next session we'll probably be arriving in the plum groves. So maybe then you can start investigating these thefts and stuff.
Alright.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up stream and do all that fun stuff. Is there anything you guys want to say to the stream before I deafen?
Thank y'all so much for watching us do stupid stuff in this campaign.
Yeah, thanks
And for
for
supporting John, because he's awesome.
If you have yet
I
to
have
like
no
the
idea
stream,
what
Find out
here's
next
the links
time.
down on the Shadowlord campaign.
What
Next
happens in the
Sunday.
cave? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
No, find out next time on
What's
Dragon
this
Ball
Pokemon?
D.
God
Right.
damn it.
Right. Well,
Dragon Ball DND.
I will be back in a moment.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. I've really been enjoying these casual sessions. This new campaign we've been doing. But for now, we're gonna wrap up there. But of course, we never just wrap up. We're gonna go on a little raid. And we are gonna send the love over to my good friend Jacob, who is doing his first ever Minecraft Let's Play. So here is the link. Make sure to hit him with that hashtag Scotsman Raid and go and show him the love. So thanks everyone that dropped out during the stream. Wow. Thanks everyone that dropped out during the stream. Hope you all had fun, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.